Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Shay, and today I'll be drawing a couple of Minecraft sticker designs. First, I'm doing a mushroom, and then I'll also be doing a move bloom. If you're watching this video, I assume you probably already know what they are, but in case you don't, they're simply just two other variants of cows from Minecraft. So I'm starting by sketching in my sketchbook, even though I'm going to be doing these digitally. I always prefer sketching in my sketchbook for some reason, even though I can easily do that on my iPad as well. But I don't know, something about pencil and paper, you know? I have done quite a few sticker designs already, like other Minecraft designs, Critical Role, Gravity Falls, and some other random things. Ideally, I would like to have my own shop and sell stickers myself, but I don't really have a following or anything at the moment, so for now I just stick to Redbubble. It's not ideal, but it is nice because they handle all the production and fulfillment, so it just makes it super easy. You know, I can just upload my designs and they handle everything else. And I will link my Redbubble down below if you're interested in any of my sticker designs. But yeah, for my Minecraft designs, I have already done a creeper, a skeleton, zombie, slime, enderman, and endermites. And in the future, I would like to do more like foxes and, you know, some of the cuter animals rather than the hostile mobs. So if you're interested in making your own stickers for Redbubble, it's super easy. Just make sure your canvas size is 2800 by 2800 pixels. And it's better to use CMYK rather than RGB for your color format. And then when you save your work, just make sure there's no background and save it as a high resolution PNG or JPEG. And that's it. And I swear this isn't an ad for Redbubble or anything, it's just what I've been using and what I'm used to, so figured I would just share my experience. So obviously I love Minecraft. I've been playing on and off for many years, probably since like 2012 when my friend convinced me to give it a try. Now before that I had always had like zero interest in Minecraft because I didn't like the blocky aesthetic. But once I started playing it, I very quickly got hooked. There's something about Minecraft that instantly puts me into like a hyper focus mode and I'll play for hours. But I do tend to fall into that 2-week phase quite often. Like I think most people do who play Minecraft. Like I'll play for hours and hours every day for weeks and then I'll just stop playing for like a year. But I always come back to Minecraft. So you can see here I'm finally moving on to the iPad. I just took a quick picture of my sketch from my sketchbook and put it in Procreate. And you'll see here I started with my lines way too thick. So I just dropped the opacity on that and then went over it with the proper line weight. So this was a lot of me just drawing lines and using Procreate's straight line function. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, where you just hold until it straightens the line, which definitely isn't as satisfying to watch as regular line work, but so I also realized midway through doing this that there is quite a bit of glare on my iPad screen from the overhead light, I'm really sorry about that. I did not notice for a while, but eventually I do notice and I turn off the light. Luckily it's not too bad, like you can still see everything, but I'm still annoyed. Even though half the time my head was in the way, so it kind of blocks it, but yeah, it goes away eventually, so bear with me. So you'll see in a sec, I'm just changing the line color. So I'm choosing like a dark burgundy brown kind of color. I always try with my line work to use something darker but like more saturated that will complement the overall piece. I tend to default to like a dark purple or blue or burgundy kind of color, but of course really depends on what I'm doing. Like for this one, because it's red, I decided to go with the darker kind of burgundy kind of line work. And then you'll see later on for the Moo Bloom, because it's yellow, I go with a dark brown with kind of reddish undertones. But yeah, if you're not super familiar with Minecraft, the mushrooms are pretty rare because they only spawn on Mushroom Island biomes, and those are quite rare. They're not too hard to find if you know where to look. I find they tend to spawn kind of in the middle of large ocean biomes. But, you know, I've still only found one organically maybe twice in all my years of playing Minecraft. And the whole thing with Mushroom Islands is that hostile mobs cannot spawn on them, even in the nighttime, which is pretty cool, but I don't think many people really care about it because you can just light up your area properly and then mobs can't spawn too. And there's two different kinds of mushrooms. There's the red mushroom kind, so this one, and then there's also the brown mushroom kind, which I was debating drawing as well, but I decided to stick with just these two because they're my favorites. So now I'm drawing the mushrooms that grow on the cow's back. And I'm just going to keep it simple and just use the same mushroom for all of them and just copy paste it because, you know, they look identical in the game as well pretty much. So it took me a little while to figure out how I wanted to arrange the mushrooms on the back to get it to look good and not just have just a row of mushrooms. So I tried to kind of offset where they were. And then I just changed the size of one of them a little bit just so they didn't look identical. So here I'm just starting to add more details and texture, but then I decided that the head wasn't big enough. I wanted to make him look a little more, I don't know, kind of derpy, I guess, so yeah, we're just gonna make his head a little bit bigger because I want him to look cuter, you know? I don't want it to be just a copy of the original Minecraft design, you know? I just don't want to put my own spin on it. So yeah, now I'm getting into the texturizing. So I'll just choose like a little darker shade and then a slightly lighter shade of whatever area I'm working on. And then I just do vaguely square shaped patches to kind of give that pixel look. But I'm definitely not worried about them being in a perfect grid or anything because that's too much work. I just like how this messy texture looks. So I'm just speeding this up a bit because, you know, I'm kind of doing the same thing all over. And I realized doing this one, I forgot when I did my older designs that I put the shadows in after I did the texture with just like an overlay layer. Because this time I did it like, I did everything darker first, and then I was using like a bunch of different shades for the shadowed sides of the cow, and then a bunch of different shades for the rest of it. So yeah, it just would have been a lot simpler to use an overlay layer instead for that. But oh well. But with that, it's pretty much done. So here's the finished design next to the sketch. You can see my little fox design beside him. I might do more stickers in the future. I would like to do like foxes and the dogs and cats and stuff. So now we're moving on to the Moo Bloom. So I'm just using the same design essentially. So I just deleted all the color and texture layers, and then I'm changing the line color to that more like brown that I talked about earlier. So yeah, it's just brown with like a little bit of kind of more in the red undertone. And then we're just gonna do exactly what we did with the other cow. So the main difference is I have to redo everything for the color because the markings on the cow are different for the Moo Bloom, and I want it to be like not exactly the same, but at least relatively the same. So the Moo Bloom is only in Minecraft Earth currently. It's not actually in the main game. I had to look this up to double check, but it was part of the mob vote back in 2020, but it lost to the glow squid, so it didn't make it into the main game, unfortunately. But I have heard rumors that it might be coming to the game. I really hope it does, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. But yeah, now I'm gonna leave you just a really quick time lapse just for a minute, and then I'll be back. So now I'm doing the flowers on his back, and these are buttercups, apparently. I never really paid attention to what kind of flowers they were, but so yeah, I'm still trying to keep these pretty simple. I stuck with the really simple shading on these, so I just did the one side just slightly darker, and then the other side more, a little bit brighter. And then you'll see in a minute here, I just used the eraser to try and clean up the lines, but I ended up making the lines pretty thin in some places, and yeah, I definitely regret that. Like the center line especially just doesn't match, so I should have just fixed that, but it's alright. So yeah, here I'm just placing the flowers. Again, I'm just doing 3 on his back. I know there's 4 in the reference there, but 3 just made more sense for this illustration. So I'm just adjusting and changing the angle on these a little bit just to get it how I like it. And with that, we are pretty much done. So I hope you enjoyed watching me draw Minecraft stuff. And if you have any ideas or suggestions of what you'd like to see me do next, please let me know. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.